Hey everyone, I hope you all got through the storm last night okay. It's Sunday morning and I just got to the food bank and there are definitely some things that are flopped over that we'll need to prop up. We must have had a lot of wind here. Okay, so a couple things in the greenhouse. I have some scallion seeds sitting out. I wanted to plant those in areas in beds where we had space, and I was thinking like in bed number 11, those will be bush beans. And then we have, I think, 3 or 4 pepper beds, which might have enough light kind of down the couple of rows that we could put in some scallion. So we'll just do that in a couple beds and see how it works out. We have some seeds in here to put away. I got a donation of pots that we can go through and see kind of what sizes we need and which ones we want to keep. I have sunflowers in here, probably some of which we'll give away, but I also want to try to plant some more. I did plant some outside of the fence garden, and they mostly got chewed down by probably a bunny or a groundhog, but I want to try to plant some more out there and maybe protect them somehow. I'm still getting through plants to give away. That will continue to happen this week. I do have basil down here, which I'm using for an event on Thursday. I just got, my mother-in-law gave me an olive tree, so we're gonna try planting that here somewhere. I probably need to buy a container for it outside, unless I can find something back behind the shed, which I might be able to. You can see in this bed a lot of these peppers had flopped over in the storm, and I just took some of those green stakes that are behind the shed and propped them up. I probably need to do the same in this bed, and I'll see, I think there's like 1 or 2 other pepper beds that we might need to do that too as well. I did want to show you the green beans are starting to produce, the bush beans. So you can see if I can get a good one out here. That's about, what, 3 or 4 inches long, and I think that's probably when we can start harvesting them. So we'll go through this bed that has the potatoes in it, and then there's another bed of potatoes that also has these same bush beans. So we can harvest those. I think the potatoes might be getting ready. You can see they're starting to kind of yellow and die back. Oh, and speaking of potatoes, there's some poking up above the ground. So maybe we'll just go ahead and start harvesting those, at least these ones that are sticking up. We'll start harvesting some of that this week. I harvested Swiss chard last week, but we can keep harvesting that. This is another thing we're gonna have to prop up. Some of the eggplant kind of flopped over in the storm. This bed too of peppers, you can see they're just kind of leaning over. So we'll go through there. And if you're here working on that project, let's also just pull the weeds that are in here. I've noticed there's quite a bit of weeds popping up. A couple of the tomato beds I'm gonna start pruning because they're just wild. So I wanna at least get the stems off the ground. I think I mentioned that last week and I never got around to it. Cucumbers, I'm continuing to harvest. I think I saw one in here. Oh yeah, there's one good sized one there. The other bed I've been harvesting a little bit more out of. Let's see. Yeah, we need to just kind of pull some weeds in the beds. And there's probably a good amount. This bed I feel like I've been harvesting more cucumbers out of. See that there? They're kind of hiding, so you gotta pull some of the leaves away. This bed of peppers actually looks pretty good. I don't think that one we need to stake up. Yeah, this is the other green bean bed and potato bed. Yeah, these are just kind of like dying back, the potatoes. So I think we can probably start pulling potatoes out this week. Other than that, I'm just looking around right now and looking at my list. I have a project going on both in the rain garden and in the Riverwalk garden. This garden, I'm going to be getting some more plants to kind of fill in some spaces. I think that will be here Thursday, so that might be a task for later this week, kind of depending on what the weather's looking like. I know we have some chances of rain. I also wanted to transplant, we have kind of black-eyed Susans all along this side, and I'm going to transplant some of those down here because when I was weeding, I just noticed it's kind of thin down here, and I'd like to bulk this area up with more black-eyed Susans. So that's a project. I also weeded a bunch in here on Friday. I'm hoping to get more of that done this week when it's not full of water. Let's see. I think that is it for now. Oh, there's also some purple, dark purple and light purple. You can see it back there in the rain garden or the butterfly garden area, which I'm going to get rid of. I do want to transplant that just to kind of see how it does. So we'll do that this week as well. And I think that's about it. My kids are in full day camp this week, so I will have more availability than I had last week. So I'll probably see a lot of you around, and if not, thanks for your help, and then I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.